Okay guys, 23rd of September. So it's a relatively quick trade today. And I want to kind of go over a couple of different things with the trade and then moving on, just kind of talking about trading in general. So with this trade, it was early morning on the FTSE. We'd set up into a potential double bottom. We'd broken up above a zone, although it was a fairly minor break, which was kind of a little bit of concern for me going into the day, but it had broken up from the double bottom, it was retesting structure, it had broken above the zone, it was testing into the MA200, and it was lining up with a potential area that I was looking at for a bounce. So all of these things coming together, you get into the trade. I was looking at a potential area slightly higher up for resistance, but the market didn't even reach there. It just popped up, rejected very quickly, and then crashed back down and took me out for a loss. So very, very fast losing trade. Now, when you're trading, the main kind of thing is when you're having losses. Well, first of all, losses, it's a natural part of trading. There's absolutely no way to avoid them. Well, if you do have a way to avoid them without not trading, obviously, before some smart arse says that, you can let me know and I will sign up with you tomorrow. Losses are part of trading. The problem is when we start to take losses personally. So when we have a loss and there's money attached to it, there's this natural tendency to kind of, you feel like you're getting a hit in the gut. And what that can do is kind of spiral into your next trade setup. Now, that's where a trader and someone who fails to be a trader kind of diverge. So the trader is still able to take the hit. It still feels awful. You don't like losing money. I don't know anyone who is completely okay when they have a losing trade. They have that little bit of a hit, but then they move on and they start to refocus and they look for the next setup. Now, the person who is struggling to trade usually after a loss either instantly tries to make the money back by reversing the trade or moving the stop, or they allow their discipline, their approach to the markets to change. They start lowering their standards for trade identification when they're in a trade. Maybe when they should come out of that trade for profit, they think to themselves, yeah, but I lost X amount on that trade, so if I just hold this for another X amount of points, then I'll make that money back. I'll be back in profit for the day, even although they know they should exit. And what happens is they take another loss. So one of the main things to focus on when you're trading is the reaction after a loss. It's easy to win. It's much more difficult to lose and then continue to act like a trader. Take breaks after you have a loss. Understand that the loss isn't personal, it's not your fault, it's just part of trading, it's part of the game that we play, and then kind of reset yourself and get back into the markets. I can't stress how important that is. If you can do that, if you can focus on that rather than simply, okay, I want to make this amount of money today, this month, next month, if you can instead focus on addressing those kind of negative reactions, you will make much more progress as a trader. I can assure you. Because it's at those times where people start to make mistakes, and it's at those times where normal losses start to pile up into emotional trading, into losses that become very, very difficult to dig yourself out of. So with that loss on Monday, it hurt. They always hurt, but then you kind of reset yourself, you get back into it, and later on in the day, there was another nice setup. Where are we? So £803.38 profits from a sell on the DAX, and I ended up the day £295.38 in profit. Now, when I was learning, what used to happen instead was I would have a loss, and either I would go away in a huff, which in all honesty, back then is probably the best idea because it got me away from the computer, or I would start to spiral. And when I started to spiral, that's when all of the good work that I'd been doing was undone. So that's, as I went through that over and over and over again, and as as I have now seen other people doing, I started to understand that the most important thing is to start focusing on yourself, start to addressing your own weaknesses, starting to look at how you react when you have those losses, because when you start to correct that, then you can just have normal dips in your account rather than these huge spikes or these huge drawdowns that it takes you months and months to get back from. And then when you finally got back from it, you go into another one of those spirals. If you can instead focus on the spirals and fixing the spirals, you can start to smooth out your equity curve. And also your sanity, I would say, because trading can be like hitting your head against a brick wall at times. Okay guys, that's everything for this video. As always, I hope it was helpful. Hope you all had a really good September. My September, first 3 weeks, really good. This week so far, very, very choppy. All part of trading. I'm James Orr, and thank you.